All right, hey guys, Kevin Moeller here in my home office and excited to share with you some strategies and some things about income and cash flow that will dramatically help you in 2017. And it's my hope that actually some of you actually came into this video with some goals and some visions in mind for 2017 that you're going to sincerely recalculate for 2017. And what I mean by that is I'm going to help you think about income and cash flow and money in a different way in terms of how you generate it for 2017. And for some of you, hopefully it's going to be massively beneficial to help you plan out what you want to do in 2017 and moving forward with your life. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to talk to you about the 3 different ways of generating cash flow, and then I'm going to share with you what my favorite is and what I've been able to do. So here's what we're going to talk about. First one is a linear income. Linear income. This is, we're all familiar with this because of a job, right? This is what I started with when I started in construction. And here's what that looks like for a linear income. We work about the same amount of time throughout the year, right? Most of us, full-time, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 30 hours a week, whatever. We're working at a job. We're told when to show up, when to leave. We fulfill that for the year. Now, naturally, the company is going to pay us less than what we're worth simply because that's the only way that they generate a profit. What I mean by that is if a company's paying you $15 an hour and you're generating $15 an hour worth of value to the company, then they're not making any money from you being there. So naturally, they're going to pay us less than what they're actually making off of us because that's just kind of how linear income works. That makes sense. The challenge with this is that it's more of the same. So income-wise, it's like when I did construction, I was miserable. I worked in the heat, I worked in the cold, rainy days I didn't get a paycheck, and I just felt like I was on a treadmill. I mean, I was earning a check on Friday, paying the bills, showing back up to Monday broke, earning a check on Friday, paying the bills, showing back up to Monday broke. It was just like this treadmill, busting my tail, begging for a raise, small raise every single year, didn't even keep up with inflation. And then, not only that, but they also, at any point in time, can decide to terminate you or downsize you or give you another position or lay you off, right? That's a linear income. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's just one type of income. The next type of income we're going to talk about is self-employed. Now, this is where most people think they own a business. And it's not true. Actually, what they own is sort of a similar linear type income, but they're their own boss, meaning they call their own shots. They determine what time they get up. They determine what time they go in. They determine when they come home. Now, with that being said, because they're in control of their time, the amount of hours that they work are going to fluctuate. They're not going to be watching the clock the same as somebody who works for somebody else at a job. What I mean by that is if their family needs them, they may take some time off. If they need to go to the office early, they may come in early. If they have a project that they're behind on and they were supposed to be done by 5 o'clock yesterday, they may be busting tail until midnight tonight to finish it up. If they have a very valuable contract that came into play or they're running on a timeline to finish a project, they may put in extra hours. If they usually don't work on weekends, but this weekend's really important to finish up a project, they may work the entire weekend. So their time is going to ebb and flow based on when they need to work with that company. But here's the challenge about the income portion. The income mirrors the amount of time that someone spends. What I mean by that is, well, if you think about this, if someone owns a landscape company but they're not doing landscaping, are they getting paid? No. If someone is a practicing attorney, they make $250 an hour, that's great, but they're not seeing a client that hour, they're not getting paid. If they work 70 hours a week in 2016 to maximize their income, but in 2017, they want to take half the year off to go on vacations and travel the world, what's their income looking like? Going to nothing, right? So this does not lead to freedom. It does lead to being your own boss, calling your own shots, and that's cool if that's what you want. But it's important to understand that it's just another type of income, but that's what it looks like. So if you're, like when I did construction work, I thought about, doing projects on the weekend, and I did. I started building piers and doing, construction rehab projects and doing all kinds of stuff, remodels, you name it. I did a lot of different stuff on the weekend, and that was able to generate some revenue for me, but then I was giving up my weekends. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to work all my weekends to generate income that I needed or wanted and then not have the time to actually enjoy it. Which leads me to my third type of cash flow that we're going to talk about, which is really the biggest thing that I wanted to get you to think about, is this type of cash flow. And it is just that. It is passive cash flow. Now, this is difficult to explain how this works, but I'm going to do my best. Passive cash flow can be generated through a lot of different things, but it creates time freedom because it ends up being an entity that provides cash to you whether you're working or not, which gives you time freedom, gives you the freedom to call your own shots in your life, and that's why I'm excited to share this with you. But here's how it works. The time spent is going to be the same as self-employed because you're calling your own shots. You determine when you work harder, when you work less, when you take off, when you bust tail, what time you get up, that kind of stuff. So the time is going to be very similar. It's going to be based on what's going on in your life and how you fit that, which is awesome. But here's what happens to the income. The income can start and skyrocket because it's not dependent on how many hours you work. It's dependent on the type of cash flow that you're putting in, that you're generating. So if you're generating a passive cash flow, the time that you're putting in is just getting this number to increase, but it comes in whether you're working or not. The first business I started in 2006, into 2006, 2007, I started the business. I was full-time in construction. I was full-time in college, 15 credit hours a semester. I worked all day long, went to class all night long for 2.5 straight years and never took a semester off. Started a passive cash flow project. I'm going to explain to you what the business model looked like in just a second. Started this, 7 months later, quit my job, went full-time. Within 16 months, at the age of 21, was making an executive-level income. Haven't had a job in 8.5 years. Why? Because my wife and I have a passive cash flow model that comes in. That gives us the time freedom to call our own shots, to do what we want to do. You know, we built an organization to take care of kids that have neurological disorders, autism, Asperger's, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, that type of stuff. We've been able to donate money to missions and ministries that we support. We're very active with Life for the Innocent, an organization that saves kids from sex trafficking and organ trafficking in other countries. We're able to travel. Been to Vegas twice this month, going to Bahamas next month, going to Dubai the next month, because we have a passive cash flow model, and that's what I want your brain to focus on. So if you're thinking, well, how the heck do I create one of those? Well, start thinking about some of the industries that create passive cash flow. Prime example, I'll name a couple of them. Insurance agents that become an insurance broker. So now the insurance broker has agents that work with them, and every time that agent provides a product or a service to a client, the broker gets paid even if the broker is not there. That's passive cash flow. Takes quite a bit to get into that profession and a lot of learning involved and some overhead, but hey, someone can start as a part-time agent, build themselves up to a broker. Smart financial plan, if you ask me. What about people in real estate? Someone could start out in real estate. They get paid on the side of their job whenever they go put somebody into a home, which is a self-employed income. If someone buys a house from them, they get paid. If someone doesn't, they don't, right? But eventually they can become a broker where now they have agents that work for them, and every time one of those agents put a family to a home, that broker gets paid even if they're not there. What are some other businesses that can do that? Network marketing is a vehicle that allows people to generate passive cash flow. Internet businesses are businesses that allow people to develop passive cash flow. So decide what it is, but let me share with you really quickly so you can kind of wrap your head around this of what it looks like in terms of an actual business model. Because I want to kind of show you what I did. You heard my hectic schedule in when I first got started with my first side business. I mean, I was swamped. I was working a ton of hours. I mean, as you can imagine, on the grind, nonstop, had nothing to show for it. Was able to ramp up a cash flow on a part-time, spare-time basis. 7 months later, walked away from the last job I've ever had. So now I'm 29. Since 21, I haven't had a job. It's been a blessing. But here's what my business model looked like so you can wrap your head around this. Every company has to have these three things. Number one, they have to have sales. They have to acquire new customers, right? Second thing is they have to have product or service delivery. You know, if you own a floral shop, for example, and the customer orders flowers, someone's got to put those flowers together and deliver them, right? So there has to be a product or service delivery. And then the third thing is accounting, right? Every business has money going in and money going out. Money going out in terms of expenses, money coming in terms of customers that are paying because sales were generated, right? So a business model does this. It goes around and around and around. That's what a company does. I found a way to put myself right here in the middle. And what I did was I found the people that could go make the transactions. The people out there acquired new customers for the company. The company provided the product or the service delivery. The money came in from the customer in the product and service delivery to the company that did the accounting. When they did the accounting, they paid me a percentage. But here's the cool thing. If the product or the service, unlike the floral arrangement, which is like, Valentine's Day, you order a bouquet of flowers or whatever, Mother's Day, if it's something that's recurring all the time, you can start to actually generate residual income. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you paid your cell phone bill? Every month? What about internet? Every month? What about insurance products? Every month? What about satellite TV? Every month? Home security services. Every month? Internet. I mean, you name it. We pay for this stuff every single month. Well, what if you actually had a business model that was able to do this for you and create residual cash flow for you because you had customers that were buying every single month, whether you were there or not? Would that provide some time freedom? That's what I did. That's what I continue to do today. That's what I continue to teach people to do today, because that is what leads to freedom. Being able to make choices in life, be able to determine when you get out of bed, who you want to work with, when you want to work with them, how you want to work with them to do what you want to do. And that's why I'm jacked up about 2017. It's going to be our best year, but we're going to help more people than ever. I mean, it's going to be an absolute blast. And so, with that being said, hopefully this helps you reevaluate, recalculate some of your thoughts towards what you want to do in 2017 and beyond that. 2017 is 1 year, but it can be a foundational year for you that you set up for you and for your family. So hopefully this helps you out in the way that you think about your goals. Let me know how it's going. Send me a comment. Let us know. God bless you, and we'll see you around. Thanks.